let's talk about a man who's becoming a celebrity in his own right, I think. Europe's chief Brexit negotiator, Michel Barnier, briefed commissioners today on the state of negotiations. The update comes 1 week before European leaders gather in Brussels for the EU summit, and many hope to have a deal or at least break the deadlock by then. But there were few hints about progress today.
Michel Barnier, our chief negotiator, briefed the college this morning on the latest state of play around the Article 50 negotiations with the United Kingdom. He recalled that decisive progress must be made in time for the October European Council next week, and negotiations at technical level will continue this week.
Michel Barnier and his team are working day and night to reach a deal, but we are not there yet.
So they're speaking, but they're not actually saying anything. I mean, what's your reading into this not saying much?
Well, because the negotiations are ongoing, and the key issue is the Irish border issue right now, and that needs to be resolved before the summit if we are going to have a deal, a withdrawal deal between the UK and the EU. So I think the work is very intensive, and there were some rumors early in the week that there is some progress and that the UK would come around to the proposed solution of the EU. Now those voices are a bit more silent and reluctant, but let's see. I mean, as Barnier usually says, the clock is ticking, and we have the summit next week and one final chance next month in November at another summit. So work needs to be done.
Normally we do get leaks. Do you think that we are actually much closer to a deal because no one wants to jinx it seems?
I think we're at a very sensitive stage, hence why we've seen the choreography change quite a lot in the last couple of days. There was an expectation we were going to see new proposals published on the Irish border from the British, and an expectation that we get more detail on the future trade relationship from Michel Barnier published. Both those things have not happened. To a degree, because, as I say, negotiations are so sensitive. Look how things are so tricky, though. We have got the possibility now in these negotiations that in order to avoid a hard border or a border in the Irish Sea, that Theresa may get what she wanted, which is to keep the UK essentially inside the customs union. The European Union said they do not want that. They might give ground on that. But then, this afternoon, the DUP, the people who hold the balanced power at Westminster, have said that if Theresa May compromises on their red line, the Irish border in the Irish Sea, that they would vote down the UK budget at the end of this month. Essentially a massive blow to confidence. So it is this massive, Brussels is having to deal with London, but London's having to deal with what's happening in Parliament and the DUP, and Dublin has to be kept happy as well. It's incredibly.
But there is a feeling that Theresa May is going to be the first one to blink. I mean, what is your assessment of this?
I mean, I think every week it seems to change, or even daily it changes. I think that at Westminster, the politics around that, what happens with the Chequers deal, what happens when that comes to be voted upon. Yes, at a technical level, things are being negotiated, and there's two different things, the withdrawal agreement and the political declaration, and sometimes we just merge the two together. I think with the withdrawal agreement, it's 90% there, apart from the Irish border question. The political declaration is much more tricky because there's division within her cabinet, there's division within the government, there's division within the Parliament, and then it becomes all the politics of what's going on at Westminster. So it's a moving feast, and we just don't know.
There are so many cogs moving in this. It's quite difficult for anyone, really. Even Michel Barnier, probably why he's up day and night, we're told, repeatedly.
But the political declaration on the future relation is also held back as a sort of a trade-off with the Irish border issues to make Theresa May blink.